Hello everyone. Today we are going to read the story Little Red Riding Hood. So let's start. One time, there lived a little girl with her parents at the edge of the woods. Her mother had made her a cloak and hood of warm red wool, which suited her so well that she would never wear anything else. She gave her the name Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother handed her a basket of goodies and said, Little Red Riding Hood, take these goodies to your grandmother who lives at the other end of the woods. Okay, mother, Little Red Riding Hood answered, delight, delighted to visit her grandmother. Go straight to grandmother's house. Be careful and don't stray from the path, her mother warned her. And don't talk to any strangers on the way. Little Red Riding Hood nodded as she took the basket and set off for her grandmother's house at the end of the woods. Since it was a beautiful day and the woodland creatures were running about, the little girl strayed from the path. She stopped on her way to pick a bunch of flowers for her grandmother. Slowly, she wandered further away from the path, deeper into the trees. She felt two pairs of eyes watching her. She found herself face to face with a very large wolf with pointed eyes and sharp teeth. Good morning, my dear, the wolf greeted her. Where are you going on such a fine morning? To my grandmother's house, the girl replied, forgetting her mother's advice. She lives at the end of the woods, she added foolishly. What is your name, my dear? He asked, as charmingly as he could. Little Red Riding Hood, the girl replied. Now, the wolf, being cunning, grinded at the Little Red Riding Hood and said, pick a few more flowers for your grandmother, my dear. Then we can race to see who reaches grandmother's house first. No sooner had Little Red Riding Hood turned to pick up a few more flowers than the wolf raced all the way to grandmother's house. It was a little white hut just where the woods ended. He knocked the door. Who is it? Red Riding's Hood. Red Riding Hood's grandmother called from the inside the hut. It's me, Little Red Riding Hood, the sly wolf called in a high-pitched voice. Why do you sound so different, my dear? Asked the grandmother as she opened the door. But as soon as she had opened the door, the wolf gored her whole. Grandmother was now safely inside the tummy of the big bad wolf. The wolf at once wore grandmother's night dress and nightcap and got into her bed. He lay in wait for Little Red Riding Hood. His mouth watered and at the through of being able to eat her up soon as well. Little Red Riding Hood arrived soon and knocked on the door. Who is it? Called the wolf in his best grandmother's like voice. It's me, Little Red Riding Hood, grandmother. Little Red Riding Hood called back. I have brought you some goodies from home. Come in, my dear, the wolf said. So Little Red Riding Hood pushed open the door and was quite alarmed to see her grandmother lying in bed. Grandmother, are you sick? Cried the worried girl. No, the wolf assured her. Little Red Riding Hood peered closer at the wolf in the grandmother's cloth and said, Grandmother, your eyes look rather larger than today. All the better to see you with, my dear, the wolf answered. She went a little closer to him and said, your ears look more pointed too. All the better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf said. "Grandmother, what sharp teeth you have today!" she cried. "All the better to eat you with, my dear," the wolf shouted and leaped out of bed towards Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood let out the piercing scream which was heard by a huntsman who was just passing by. He rushed into the hut and found the girl, shrinkingly in fright, and the wolf about to strike her. He at once hit the wolf with his sharp axe. The wolf's tummy was sliced open and out jumped grandmother. She was still alive, as in his hurry the wolf had eaten her whole. She was happy to see Little Red Riding Hood. "Thank you for saving us," they said to the huntsman, and invited him to join them to eat the goodies. "How did the wolf know where your grandmother lives, Little Red Riding Hood?" asked the huntsman. When their evening of eating goodies was over, "Because I spoke to a stranger," Little Red Riding Hood wailed, "and mother told me not to speak to strangers." "It's all right," he told her. "Do not do it again. Come, I shall take you back home to your mother." So they set off down the path back to Little Red Riding Hood's house. The girl had learned her lesson and never spoke to strangers or strayed from the path ever. For more updates, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.